swishing, 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 swishing. Rise up, stay swishing, 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 swishing. Willing every jumper with a flick of wrist. Never a doubt, a fear, a miss. Anyone sleeping on my shots get fits. Cause every shot through nets, through rips. Cars, hearts, darts, awards, sharks.
Welcome on in, episode number
33.
33.
There's a lot.
Brandon
Hill.
Brandon Haywood. Is he 33?
That's the first name. Grant Hill.
33.
Morning.
It's not the morning.
Alonzo Morning. Zoe.
Lottery happened on Monday.
The draft of the Cooper flag, and some team in Dallas received the top pick.
As compensation for
I can't speak on that. That's copying.
the other flag,
What flag?
Luka flag.
It's not a flag. The Slovenian symbol.
Cooper Doncic.
Not too much. It's Luka Doncic. Anyway, so he decided, Nico Harrison that is, to accept the trade because he was offered the number 1 overall pick is what everyone is saying, so I don't want to be another voice of that. I got my own stuff.
I mean, you said there was rumors that people in the lottery were trying to spread awareness that NBA is not rigged.
Pre-lottery, yes.
Which means they already knew who was picking, so they tried to sugarcoat it, basically.
Yeah, I mean, everyone pretty much knows the lottery's rigged, though. I mean, I don't have to do a Mind You of the Week on that.
Is this the NBA telling the bottom teams that getting the top 3 chances to get the number 1 pick doesn't really matter, so just stop resting the guys that win you games?
It could be. There could be various reasons why things are happening the way they are. I don't think it's strictly that, though, because I think it's more strategically placing a superstar replacement for Luka.
I mean,
I don't think it has anything to do with it.
if the Lakers had the first round pick this year, would they rather just give them to the Lakers instead of getting Luka?
The Lakers were never going to miss the playoffs.
Never?
You're right, they never were.
But, like...
They never were.
Didn't I guess not.
In fact, they don't even have their own pick. So your theory is proven to be flawed. That's not what they would have done.
Wait. I thought the Spurs had... Oh, yeah. No, wait. I thought the Spurs had 2 lottery firsts.
They had the Hawks, which went to the 14th pick. That is the second lottery.
The second lottery?
Yes, the 14th is part of the lottery. Is this news to you?
I always thought it was 13 teams for some reason.
No, it was 14.
That's strange.
Not really.
So the Spurs have back-to-back years with
8 plus 8 is what?
16.
30 minus 16 is what?
14.
Alright, enough said.
So the Spurs have back-to-back years with 2 lottery firsts. after taking Stefan Castle and who's that European? Is it the European guy they picked? Or did they trade that first? Am I forgetting?
I don't remember, actually. City Sissoko.
No, that's...
Oh, it was one...
They traded it.
Yeah, there was trade. That's why I'm confused what you were saying. I mean, if you want to count Harrison Ingram as a first-round pick, technically.
He's not.
He went to UNC, though.
He's not a first-round pick. So, yeah. Spurs drafted the Rookie of the Year after McCain went down. They had to pick someone, unfortunately.
I think Stephen Castle would have been ahead of him anyway.
No, you're wrong.
No, because I'm actually right on that.
No. But, yeah, the Spurs back-to-back years. We'll see if they trade another first-round pick for a superstar or like a really good role player type thing.
Yeah, you don't trade the second pick for that. I would say there's a lot of talks about a certain Greek character landing in San Antonio.
Could happen. Do I think it will?
Yes. You said it yourself.
I don't want it to, because, like, I want it to be Wemby and Fox show, not Giannis and everyone else below him. And it's honestly too stacked of a roster if they do that.
Some players would be moving in that trade, not just picks.
I know, but they're not going to move Fox or Wemby, so...
They could.
No.
Not Wemby, though.
They're not going to move Fox.
You don't know that.
Why would the Bucks want 2 point guards?
They already do. Chris Paul, Castle.
I said the Bucks.
Not too much. Because it's part of the league expansion of going small.
No. Fox and Lillard both can't guard that well, so why would you do that?
Why would it have to be directly the Bucks that get them? Brain twist there. The era of the 3-team trade. And you think it's going to be a straight-up trade for a superstar.
I mean, the player who's more likely to end up in San Antonio is probably Kevin Durant.
No.
Just because...
Not too much.
His shot creation makes sense with Wemby and Fox.
I honestly don't think Kevin Durant's going to get moved yet.
You don't think so, but it could happen. Just like Giannis could happen.
It's more likely Giannis gets moved, in my opinion.
But, speaking of another thing that happens consecutive years, the mid stay mid. Toronto and Chicago both do not get any lottery luck. They remain not in a good place lottery-wise. Not that drafting higher always means you're getting the better talent. Because you've seen, as a Sixers fan, Maxey and McCain being drafted later and they pan out to probably be redrafted in the top 5 if they had to do a redraft. I'd probably, my bias is showing here, but I would have taken McCain first in last year's draft.
No.
Yep.
That's real bias. Not even a starter yet.
But there's reports going around that Dallas is looking to sign a starting level point guard now that Kyrie's out for like a long time, probably till the end of next year. He might come back for the playoffs, but who knows. But I don't know like what free agents they could get. I guess we could talk about that in another episode.
I don't know how much space they even have to allot to a quality point guard, so I don't think that's really a big topic.
But yeah, Tatum went down with an injury. Torn Achilles. Sort of similar.
Ruptured.
Yeah, sort of similar
facts right.
to the situation with Kyrie going down with a injury that's going to take him out for a long, long time. In retrospect, pretty unfortunate.
A series of unfortunate events has occurred.
Yeah,
You don't get it?
I mean it's a book, but I don't.
There's also a show and movie. And it's a series. The playoff series.
I was thinking about it today. Is Joe Mazzulla's job on the line?
That's a hot take. I've heard from some realms that Celtics fans were calling for his job already, and that was in Game 2.
Like, he hasn't made the necessary adjustments. Even if Tatum didn't get hurt, they probably lose last game.
Well, the fact is that the Knicks were up by 10 with 2:58 remaining, and it wasn't looking like the Celtics were gaining any ground, despite Tatum going off, meaning his help wasn't necessarily there.
Yeah. Just unfortunate stuff. Next year should be interesting. What they do, who they lose in free agency, who they trade.
Traded, yeah, that was my words.
Who they fire, maybe.
I wouldn't say that they're going to be quick to fire anything.
If you don't make adjustments, then
You can't just go off one series, though.
I mean they were predicted to go to the finals, so you could.
By some fools, maybe. Not
by a
me.
lot of people.
Not by me. Speaking on that,
That's
check my
because you have
bracket.
an Eastern Conference team. The Cavs also lost in 5 games to the Pacers. So
how was I to predict the
and your
mass
other
amount of injuries?
end of the finals is already gone in the Lakers. So
Yeah, that was decided.
the bracket's been chalked.
The West Side's been chalked for a while. I mean, that's not an appropriate thing to say on me. I would say that my adjusted bracket is looking fine and dandy right now.
How?
My adjusted bracket is the Knicks and the Wolves.
How did Minnesota get Detroit's first?
Trades.
Is that the Malik Beasley trade?
Not quite sure, but it's highly...
Malik Beasley was signed in free agency.
Not quite sure about that, but that is a interesting moniker to see a shift. To see a team that could potentially go to the NBA Finals receiving the 17th overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Miami fans looking at the lottery.
I don't. I'm quite happy at their lack of success.
I mean, they have a first, but, like, they don't have a lot of assets or people on roster that would, like, get you hyped for the future.
You're not supposed to be hyped about a rival team.
Yeah, but end of the day, as an NBA fan that's not biased.
You just said you were biased about McCain.
I know, but that's individual bias-y. That's a player bias.
Real fans don't love every team. That's fraud alerts.
No, you don't love every team. You think about it in a way that...
I want to see their downfall. That's a real fan.
Yeah, but I'm an NBA fan.
Then you're not
at the
a real
base of
Sixer
it.
fan at the base of it either, then.
Yes, I am. I just know how
You don't
to...
want to see your enemies downfall.
I know how to control myself when it comes to talking about the league.
You're not a real diehard because you didn't
You could
grow
be a
up-
diehard and
No,
be
you're not.
non-biased.
Not too much. Not really.
Yes, you can.
That's a real blanket statement that doesn't work.
So even with the Philly keeping their pick, OKC still has 2 first-round picks in this year. Plus
They control every draft for the next 5 years.
Brooklyn has a lot of picks in the first. They have 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
New
well
York,
aware of
Houston, and Milwaukee in their own.
that.
Hmm.
Quite proud of that trade. Especially with where the picks are. We're quite proud of that.
Interesting. I guess the order changes based on who gets eliminated. They're predicting Boston moves on, I guess.
That's where they finished. OKC had the best record. Cleveland was second. Boston was third. Houston was fourth. Knicks were fifth. Top 5 in the NBA regular season records. That is what that order is determined by.
Interesting. Orlando with 2 picks. So Orlando has 16 and 25 from Denver. I'm interested to see what Orlando does in the offseason. But I got to scrap that to the side because this is not an offseason pod yet.
Right. We're concerned about the real season, the playoffs. In fact, I would say this NBA playoffs is helping the NBA ratings big time. There's a lot of stories happening. There's storied franchises moving on to higher rounds. There is the big name markets playing. It's almost like it was kind of designed, but I've already discussed that.
I wouldn't say all the big markets are playing.
A lot of the big markets.
Indiana, OKC.
No, I'm saying a lot.
Minnesota.
Boston, New York.
Only 2.
LA was in it.
The first round. Oh wait, why would the Knicks forfeit their second?
We don't talk about that.
What happened?
We don't talk about that. We've already discussed that.
I don't remember.
You do. Stop it.
No, I seriously don't. You want to tell the listeners?
No, I don't. Not really. It's not important.
Was that in the Mikal Bridges thing?
No.
Was that in the Brunson re-signing?
Re-signing?
Or signing? Trade?
No, it was the fact that we went to the Dallas and Utah game and had discussions with his dad and him.
NBA, you gotta step up your game. You gotta make them take away their first or something.
No, that's not the punishment. It's not fair.
No one cares about number 56 pick.
We traded our first round anyway. We don't care about that either.
Clearly. Hopefully you have something to show for it.
Oh, yes, we do. You already see it happening.
So at the lottery, there was players or front office members that would, I guess, be at the podium as the face of that team.
Representative, not the face.
Yeah. I guess I can't say McCain's the face of the Sixers. But,
good luck charms, in other words.
Yeah, so Zion...
For a fraudulent event.
So Zion is the good luck charm of New Orleans.
Yeah, that's how you know it's fraud. Fraud power rankings go higher up on the NBA draft lottery as number 1 in the world.
But New Orleans fell.
Exactly. It's a fake show. Everyone knows that. No one takes that thing seriously. That's why McCain was there.
We take it seriously.
For what? The order's already decided before he even shows up.
We take it seriously in that you have to represent your team well.
How? By standing on a stage that no one cares about?
You know, smiling, waving.
Looking upset.
Being happy.
Looking upset when they say the wrong thing that happened and then turning it into a smile. Good job, ESPN.
And the Dallas...
That's why you're failing
the Dallas guy giving it away by smirking the entire time after commercial because he knew what was happening.
Yeah.
That was interesting. All I see is this guy with like the sneakiest smile after commercial when they were announcing the top 4.
Unbelievable.
It's like
playing team gets the first pick.
It's like he knew what was happening.
Yeah, I think he did. Mr. Blackman.
For a second, I thought his name was Balkman.
No. You're thinking of Ronaldo Balkman of the Knicks floor and the Nuggets floor. This is the 80s Rolando Blackman, who played for the Mavericks.
Some might say it's the same player.
No, they're not. They're clearly not. One was way better. One was a scrub.
One was just older and
no, one was
faking to be younger.
No. Ronaldo Balkman was trash. People liked him because
former Maverick, I believe.
He might have been.
Unless I'm thinking of Blackman.
I don't know. Balkman bounced around a lot.
Why couldn't it be like Jason Kidd or JJ Barea or someone more appealing? Some of the front office or
he's
coaches
a legend
were
in
just,
Dallas.
I guess. Speaking of legends, unrelated to NBA, Pete Rose is now eligible for...
So was Joe Jackson.
And Joe Jackson. Eligible for Baseball Hall of Fame. I guess it's Naismith.
No. That's football.
Crap.
No, that's actually basketball. It is the Cooperstown.
Naismiths.
Cooperstown.
Naismith.
No, it's Cooperstown.
Wait.
He's eligible in 3 years to be named on it. So he's activated where they could start beginning the process. And it is a 3-year wait.
Cooperstown like flag?
Or is it? Stop it. Not too much. He's not over there. Obviously, he will be going to a certain Texas-based operation for now.
So it was Texas, just not the Alamo.
I was close. They were the second pick. I was highly close. I had the wrong conspiracy.
Yeah, anything else you wanted to discuss?
Why, yes. Yes, I do. Speaking on the realms of conspiracy, today we arrive back into Mind You of the Week. Brought to you live. We're not live. So, in our journeys throughout the mystical 7 oceans...
Wait, you forgot about our sponsor.
Sponsored by...
No one.
That's right. Come sponsor. If you want to be part of the emerging cycle of conspiracies from the 7 seas, the oceans of the mists, the waterfalls of truth.
Taco Falls.
Not too much. Anyway, we begin our journey delving in headfirst into this.
Niagara Falls.
There is no protection on this slide, no pause necessary because we are talking about our slide down a mountain. And that mountain happens to be the epicenter of a long time fear-based conspiracy about the iniquity of the NBA. And that is that the entire thing
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
is rigged.
I know where you're going with this. Give me the mic.
No. Do not do this.
Are you talking about the Halliburton and Brunson duel?
So, last year, there was a certain 2 NBA players that met at WrestleMania in the offseason after they played each other in the second round of the 2024 NBA playoffs. And as they stared down each other on that ring that night, the NBA colluded with the WWE, the master of the script, WWE, and they found that the ratings were pretty high for that event. So with this being said, the two emerging young superstars, whatever you want to call them,
Emerging.
had begun their journey to the pinnacle of the East. And that is the Eastern Conference Finals of 2025.
The eastern side of the ring.
So
The eastern side of the ring?
yes, they were on the east side. I actually believe, wasn't that in Philly?
Why would they be in Philly?
WrestleMania last year.
I don't know where it was. I don't watch it.
But anyway, we go into the conclusion here that Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton were actually prepping for their big-time match in the 2025 Eastern Conference Finals.
How would they know that?
So this,
Why were they both there at the same time?
that is part of the rig. So it was a sneak peek or a look into the future of 1 year. And that would be calling it the WWE Theory. So the NBA mirrors the WWE's script patterns and sometimes actual literal events. Literal. We are having a wrestling match starting soon. Eastern Conference Finals, Pacers, Knicks.
How do you know what's going to happen?
It's already been predetermined and told to me by sources I cannot reveal.
What if the Celtics come back in 7?
Not too much. We're not speaking that negativity on these airwaves. We are about positivity and
That
truth.
is positive. You got to be humble.
Truth.
You got to be humble.
The truth will be revealed.
You got to be humble still. They didn't win.
We didn't win yet, but it's a foregone conclusion.
Just like the Warriors a couple years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but anyway, people have legitimately seen this in the works as the storylines mounted against the Knicks. All the hate was all a deterrent by the NBA to throw us off the scent of their real rig capabilities. The master plan was always in place. You heard it on the songs here. 2025 Knicks title on the way. But first, we must make a pit stop at the WWE WrestleMania event. Pacers Knicks Eastern Conference Finals. A throwback to the 90s style of wrestling, aka basketball. WWE Theory. And this has been Mind You of the Week. It's gonna be Mind You of the Week every week. Just kidding, it's not every week. It's only times that I come up with conspiracy. Brought to you live by MarsFarner.com, MarsFarner.com, MarsFarner.com. It's not a real website, so that's no real sponsor yet. And we're back.
All right. So, being humble, the Celtics have not officially been eliminated yet. We apologize if the Celtics end up coming back and winning.
No apologies.
But it was interesting that Halliburton and Brunson were in the same building at the same time, and they it's almost like they had it planned out that they were gonna do this reenactment, like they were trying to fight, which begs the question. Will we see a all-out brawl if it is the matchup that you think it's going to happen.
Yes.
I'm talking all-out fight. Not as Malice in the Palace as you think, but like player fight, not crowd fight.
Yes. PJ Tucker. Book it.
Booker?
No, he's not on any of those teams. Said book it.
You mean like
PJ Tucker will be throwing
PJ
a punch.
Tucker versus James Johnson.
Battle of the Old Men. No Country for Old Men, Part 2.
Battle of the dogs. Send out your biggest dog.
All right, OG,
Next.
get out there.
No. Next, PJ Tucker.
He's not a biggest dog.
Pacers, James Johnson. Fight.
Ding, ding, ding.
Pacers have moved on.
We will soon see the results of the other Eastern semifinal, but I do have other news, real news to bring to you that have already happened. As we know, my statements on the NBA on NBC will become the greatest network, have been coming to fruition slowly and slowly as they name players, former players, I mean by that, to the broadcasting team. We had recently Carmelo Anthony named to the studio analyst position. A second name was named. Can you name who that was? From the University of North Carolina, who
Vince
played
Carter.
on Toronto, New Jersey / Brooklyn. Yes, it is Vince Carter. I'm not going to name all of the teams he played for. He played for quite a bit. Yes, he was the second studio analyst. So those two right there are already leagues above Shaq and Charles. Boring. Who doesn't watch basketball anymore? We also have the greatness of Jamal Crawford, the annoyingness of Reggie Miller on the games. We have Tirico, who is a well-known NFL caller. He used to call the NBA until 2016 as well. Noah Eagle, who is the son of Ian Eagle, who does broadcast for ESPN and TNT.
Oh, yes. This is the guy that...
You mean Tirico?
Yeah, Mike Tirico is the guy that stepped into a broadcast for the Sixers the one game and they tried to get back into it.
Yes.
Which was interesting because I'd much rather have him on than some others.
It's a shame that he's going to be the lead for the national coverage because he's too busy to even think about doing full-time Sixer work.
No, I'm not saying anything with the Sixers. I'm saying...
You'd rather have him?
I'd rather have him than most others.
Well, he is a professional. We'll leave it at that. But that's not even the biggest name we have to talk about. We have to talk about the GOAT himself being added to the team. Something TNT has never even come close to. Michael Jordan, special contributor.
You know what that means? That means Michael Jordan shows up when he wants.
No, it means that
talks about what he wants, and he's just going to be there with a cigar in his mouth.
No, it means that he's going to be like that sideline or segment guy, which is pretty important in today's modern media. If you didn't say so yourself, Mr. Segmentation.
Like every game?
Not necessarily. I mean, they're not going to have every game. Again, it's just the NBC broadcasts. So it's probably once or twice a week. And he
when
will
he wants.
No, that's when the games will be aired.
When he wants to show up.
Again, that's when the games will be aired on the station. And you will be hearing some betting segments. Moving on. I am not accusing him of ever betting. That is not why he left the NBA to play baseball.
I mean, we're not going to even go there.
That is not a mind you of the week.
The way I read this and interpret this is that Michael Jordan only accepted this role if it was on his terms, obviously.
Are you joking?
And he
You
will
realize
only...
they already have other voices, right?
He will only make appearances where he deems necessary, in the games he deems necessary.
I don't think that's how it works.
Maybe I'm totally wrong, and that's okay, but we'll see. But yeah, NBC is back. Player introductions are back.
That's gonna be awesome. We're back! Basketball, the NBA is back, I should say. College has already been here. If you didn't know, CBS was using... Fox was actually using that. The Round Ball Rock theme for college.
They're not NBC, are they?
No, but they allowed Fox to use it because they didn't have it at the time. Any basketball.
What is... Later in the season, NBC will launch Sunday Night Basketball in 2026. After the NFL season. Is that when Jordan's going to show up on Sundays only?
Maybe. No, I think he's going to be in the beginning of the year too, though. That is a cool idea. Sunday Night Basketball? Now this is what you're talking about marketing and trying to get to the level of the NFL. Finally, some real changes by networks.
Is this the type of thing where they only stream it on Peacock just to get you to buy it?
No.
Like the football does it sometimes?
No.
Like this day, like Monday nights are only Prime Video or something like that?
That's third party. This is a cable network. It's going to be simulcasted. Like everything on NBC is.
But why are
Get with the times!
Why are you so excited about Sunday night basketball when Sunday nights there's always basketball on if it's the season?
Because they're probably going to make it a full production rather than let's throw on a game and have boring voices talk before the game.
I mean, Reggie Miller's game analyst anyway.
I'm talking before the game. That would be the studio.
I don't know. I can't be excited until I see what's actually going to happen.
The real best players.
Best players?
Michael Jordan, Carmelo Anthony,
Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford was a great
there's so many better players.
No, he actually is a great... he's been doing MSG while Clyde's out. He is great.
I mean, it is interesting because, you have hockey where I think Gretzky used to be an analyst.
Yes, he was.
And that's
in between
that's
doing,
like
owning and stuff.
That's the GOAT of hockey. Now you have the GOAT of basketball doing it. Or second. I didn't say that.
Yes.
The second best.
No, you said it. It is fact.
I was speaking in your terms, the GOAT. I wasn't speaking in my terms.
Yeah, so that was some of the great news I received this past week, along with some other news, obviously. And I am looking forward to the next year, but also my mind right now is on the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, playoffs have been interesting. I'm glad it has been. It's interesting they finally started getting interesting after the Sixers became irrelevant. But maybe we'll be back to the top next year. We will see. But for now, go Pacers.
I don't concur with that.
Pacers and Thunder finals.
No.
My new prediction after the Celtics probably are going down because of Tatum's injury mostly.
It's 3-1 before that.
I know.
Should I end this off correctly?
No, I have one more thing to discuss.
All right, make it quick.
I believe it's next year they're talking about the expansion to Seattle, if I remember right. They're going to have a meeting coming up, with the other
Vegas.
teams. Yeah. So yeah, that'll probably go down, and I don't know when the new team will be here, but it'll make it an even league. 32 teams, right? Or is it 31?
That would be 31 if they added one. I heard it was 2. And I'm not so sure that they're going to be so quick to expand.
We'll see. All right, send us off.
Birds flying high. You know who's gonna win. Birds falling from the sky. You know who's gonna win. Sing it with me. Threes drifting by. You know who misses. It's the Celtics. Knicks in 5. 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 Tonight. Wednesday night. Signing off.
Peace.
Like, share, subscribe to the freaking pod.